Hey, just wanted to make a quick video showing how to do Legend of Mana recipes using 3 Bed of Thorns cards, which is going to give you maxed out defense, but the disadvantage is that you have the no regeneration of your health during combat. So it's kind of a give and take. So I've got the Forge Simulator up, and the links to this will be in the description. I just set the material here. So first we're going to do an adamantite pendant, and the pendant is really good because that has really good magic defense. And adamantite is just a great material, strong base value, so you'll be able to easily max out the defense. So the recipe is very simple. We're going to be using as well an Yggdrasil card generated by Spiny Seed. So first we need to get the Dryad level up to level 5 before that can show up. And I've just referenced this is all available on the Mystic card list, which I've copied and transcribed into my other video on the channel about tempering. But you can see the Yggdrasil requires Dryad to be more than 4, so 5 is the minimum value. And then it's also just worth looking at the Bed of Thorns. It requires Dryad to be bigger than 0, which we'll already have that with Dryad equal to 5, and then Salamander also has to be 0. Alright, so we'll simply start with the easiest way to get Dryad is to just use a seed. I usually use Big Seed, and then 3 sulfurs will decrease the Dryad resistance down to 3, so then adding another Big Seed will pump you up to level 5. And this kind of, the resistances and the energy levels of what raises this is explained in my other video pretty well. So the recipe so far is Big Seed, Sulfur, 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 Big Seed. That gets us to Dryad level 5. Now when we add Spiny Seed, it creates the Yggdrasil card. Next, we'll just add the 3 needles, which will create the Bed of Thorns there. At this point, you'll notice that the stats have gone up a little bit. That's because of the Yggdrasil. It gives us so right now we're getting plus 3 power, plus 3 dex, plus 3 defense, 9 magic, 10 con. Plus 3 is going to be the best we can do overall because that limit is set by the Bed of Thorns. So we don't need to worry about getting the stats above 3. But if you were to add meat or anything right now, it'll keep increasing the stats because the Yggdrasil is still there. But once we get rid of the Yggdrasil, the stats will be capped at 3. And then you can also see our defense right now is at 52. That's because we have 2 Bed of Thorns active. When I push in the next item, it'll make the 3rd bed active, and then the last item itself will also add an individual bonus, and that's going to be the Moth Wing, and that'll jump us up to defense 95. That is actually the maximum for magic defense on any one item is 95. So this configuration, and then you can see it has 3 stats. So this recipe here is going to be the recipe to get 95 magic defense on a pendant. Now you can also reference on the Legend of Mana Kitchen subreddit I posted, and the link to this will be in the description as well, but I posted that recipe here for an adamantite pendant that just uses 2 Bed of Thorns. You can see right here it just has 2 needles, but all the stuff in front you can copy that and just put that in, and that's how you're going to get all immunities as well. Because the pendants can also provide status immunities. Alright, so that's that one. Then the next item you'll want to use is going to be body armor, or in this it's just called armor. Let's see, and what did I end up using? I used Dragon Scales. Dragon Scales is pretty much the best armor, but you can use the same recipe with a lower quality armor and get similar results. So this one's very simple. It's basically the same recipe, because the way the armors work is that you can almost always just use a very similar recipe. Let's see. Now with this, Dragon Scales has a lower base resistance for Dryad, so you only need to use 2 sulfurs to get to level 5 Dryad. But if you use 3 sulfurs, there's no harm. But so the recipe so far will be big seed, sulfur, sulfur, big seed. Then we'll just do the same exact thing as before. And then let's see, I forget what the capper is. I think it's Sleepy Eye. Instead of Mothwing, we'll use Sleepy Eye. Yep, I think that's the one. Just check a different eye. Yep, so each eye will provide a little extra bonus to one of the defense types, but naturally it has the lowest amount in the third, and that's the one that Sleepy Eye boosts. So if you do this setup, then you'll end up with 98, 98, 102, which I think is capped at 99, and then 6 magic defense. And then, yep, basically the same setup, and then you'll get 3 to all stats, which is, again, the most you can have with Bed of Thorns. And then that basically frees you up. So you got this piece that gives you all the physical defenses, the pendant gives you all the magic defenses, then you can basically use whatever you want for your third armor. And then I would recommend using probably, the defense doesn't even matter, but I would recommend using either, the dragon skin shield, if you use a one-handed weapon, or otherwise the mantle. And then with this you can just get plus 20 stats on this. And that's achieved using the particular configuration that's here, using like Poison Fang. But yeah, let me know if there's any other questions. The recipes are pretty simple, but hopefully these should help you out through the game. And again, I mentioned the only disadvantage of this is that you can't regenerate health during battle, but with maxed out defense, you take way less damage. So yeah, thank you for watching, and let me know if there's any other questions or requests for additional recipes in the comments.